What's going on, you guys? We are live in effect as we always are. It's Thursday, so you guys know what time it is. It's the Locker Room Show. That's where we're bringing the industry to you. We want to game up the athletes, the parents, the coaches that want to go far in the college football, pro football industry, and we got another great show for you guys lined up tonight. So I want to get right into it, and obviously there's some new faces on the camera, so let me do my introductions. And first and foremost, I'm excited to bring the man to the far right of the screen, and that is none other than Janorik James, Coach J. This is somebody that is a Before You Go Pro alum. He is currently a team member. Phenomenal running back, you guys, at Sacramento State FCS program in California, and now is training young people in Houston, Texas. What's going on, Coach Jay?
What's going on, Coach? Thank you for having me. Man. I'm excited.
We're pumped up to have you on, man. And you guys, a wealth of knowledge right now on the camera. And I'm going to go to the middle of the screen. And this is somebody, when you talk accolades, when you talk resume, it doesn't get much finer than the gentleman that we have on the middle of the screen. I'm talking Super Bowls. I'm talking about head coach at the college level, Virginia State, Alabama State. Also now huge opportunity to be a head coach in the XFL kicking off in 2023. And that's none other than Coach Reggie Barlow. How's it going, Coach?
Man, all is well. Better than I deserve. I really appreciate the introduction there. See if I can get you on payroll and introduce me all the time.
There you go, man. Well, no introduction needed. And thank you for those that are joining us live, those that will check out the recording. If you're joining us for the first time, the Locker Room Show is where we cover the trending topics that are going on in the football industry. Real-time stuff, you guys, to make sure that you're gamed up, to make sure that you're a level ahead of everybody else. And we bring in the best. I see people already joining us. That is the Munoz family from Texas. Greetings from the Munoz family in Texas. So thank you guys for joining us. And you guys, let's get right into it. I mean, the first topic is Pat Fitzpatrick. And Pat is kind of a flamboyant guy. He kind of stayed in the news when he was a player and, journeyman, backup player. And many don't know, Harvard alum. So very smart guy. But currently, he has landed the job, you guys, to be a Thursday night commentator on Amazon for Thursday night NFL football. I'll kick it to you, Coach Barlow. We kind of take a different perspective on this show. What does a guy have to do to have that type of fallback after football that quick? Because that's a nice gig. And to land right into that, what are your thoughts on what he was doing or how that all came about?
Well, first of all, obviously, Ryan Fitzpatrick is an extremely sharp guy. I think the reason he stayed around the NFL as long as he did was because of his intelligence, his approach to the game, his professionalism, and then, of course, he had the skill set to be able to stay around. But it's about forming those relationships while you're still playing, right? It's while you still have that name behind you. It becomes a tad bit harder once you're out, right? Because there's the next guy that's coming along. So I think Fitzpatrick probably has done a good job of keeping himself relevant during the time when he knew, okay, it's coming to an end, and just keeping those relationships, reaching out, probably did interns, probably went. I know the NFL offer a lot of opportunities for their players to go and get that type of experience if you plan on transitioning into television, broadcasting, and that type of stuff. So I'm sure his charisma, who he is, smart, sharp guy, his experience, and then, of course, the relationships that he's formed over the years have given him an opportunity to land a really good spot.
That's a great point, Coach. And Jay, I mean, you're literally in that transition, man, from being a Division I football player to now finding your footing. Do you find that being difficult, or do you think you were prepped for that? Do you think most guys are prepped for that transition?
I don't find it difficult for myself. but I don't know if a lot of guys are prepped for that. Because Coach, as you know, a lot of people don't know. Like, I was playing Division I football and also working, 2-3 jobs at a time trying to get by. Because at the Division I level, they treat everyone as if you're a scholarship player. And I didn't get put on a scholarship until my senior year. So I had to grind it out and make a way and figure it out. So going the entrepreneur route, I feel like I was prepped, and I was blessed for having that experience, and I was able to be prepped during that period of time for this type of thing. But I think the stepping stone for me was getting the opportunity with Before You Go Pro was a stepping stone for me to be able to branch out and start to do those things. And where that came from was just networking and being a good person and being a professional. When you carry yourself like a professional and you network with the right people and you talk to the right people, you go where you're supposed to go, be where you're supposed to be, shake hands, kiss babies when you're supposed to, opportunities will be abundant for you. And Ryan Fitzpatrick being a very intelligent guy, like Coach Barlow pointed out, I'm sure that was top of his mind while he was still relevant, while he was still playing, to go ahead and make those connections for the future, to be able to have that set up for after playing.
No, that's a great point right there. And the great Jimmy Rucker's with us. He says, happy belated Father's Day, fellas. Fitzpatrick's personality showed when he was with the Bucks and wore the Deshaun Jackson gear at the post-game conference. So, yeah, he's a flashy dude. He knows what he's doing, kind of like you guys see with Draymond Green right now in the NBA. So, guys are smart. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and this is unfortunately a sad one. I've never seen anything like this where two guys, different eras, but same organization, pass away. The great Tony Siragusa, we remember him from the Ravens Super Bowl days, plugging up the middle, Ray Lewis, Peter Boulware, all those guys. And then the young cat, the one, I think he was only 1 year in, Jalen Ferguson, passed away. And I know there's more details, guys, coming out on these young men because Tony was only 55, Coach, but from a coach's perspective, when your team gets blindsided like this, something that you wouldn't anticipate, they're about to go to camp. How do you think Coach Harbaugh is dealing with this type of situation?
Well, I have the utmost respect for Coach Harbaugh. He's done it a long time. I'm not sure he's experienced something like this, but Tony Siragusa was an outstanding player and obviously a great personality for that franchise back during that time. And as a head coach, it's all about embracing what it is, right? Death is hard for all of us, and I think it's about getting your team in there and letting them speak their emotions, how they feel. Obviously, getting help for the ones that need to talk to people that might have been a little bit closer to Siragusa, but just really being vulnerable to the fact that, hey, this is death, this is something that happened, and we all have to deal with it. But more importantly, just having those conversations with guys about making sure, mentally they're taking care of themselves, physically they're taking care of themselves, and then, of course, things happen, and just being able to lean on each other throughout the process. And then there's not many franchises in the NFL that, Baltimore Ravens, they do it the right way from top to bottom. They've always done that. I know they have an outstanding support staff. You're not as successful as they've been if you don't have those things in line. So I'm sure Coach Harbaugh has all the necessities that he need to be able to, help any of his team, his guys, especially for the current player that was there now. So our hearts go out to him. There's a lot of great guys that have played in that organization, and I've seen posts by a lot of great guys, Shannon Sharp and some of the other guys that played with Siragusa. I know I played against him when I was around. So it's an unfortunate situation. He, his personality was outstanding, really good football player, and obviously we all need to keep his family and his kids in our prayers, as well as the other young men.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's crazy. I've never seen two guys from the same organization, same day. Jay, have you ever lost a teammate? Man, I have, playing at the University of Colorado, even in the Arena League, unfortunately, you guys, I had somebody pass away in the game. Jay, have you ever lost a teammate, man?
Oh man, so I've never lost a teammate during a season, but I've had the coach right after being coach, a couple years later pass away, and one of my best friends, my O linemen back from high school, he passed away while I was at Sac State, and I mean, it's it's one of those most disheartening things ever as a teammate, because we build those brotherhoods in football. Those guys that are in the locker room with you, they go from teammates during that first fall camp to being your brothers. So at the end of the day, when you
Good
when
point.
you walk away from that and into the real world, when eventually everybody's day comes, but when that brother's day comes before yours, it's no matter what, it's that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's family.
that's a
So true.
good point, man. And shouts out to the Ravens organization. I'm sure they're going to be fighting hard this year. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and this was a big one that caught my attention, and definitely glad to have Coach Barlow with us because he's an HBCU alum, both as a player and a coach. And recently, you guys, Jackson State said, "Hold on, we're not just making moves on the recruiting trails." But also we got the attendance to back it up. And they're saying their attendance, and it's right here on the screen, the data, is better than a lot of the Power 5 schools that people get so pumped up about, whether it's the Northwesterns, the Stanfords, the Cincinnatis who just went to the playoffs. So give us a little something, Coach. What are some of the other misconceptions maybe that people have about HBCU football?
Yeah, there's a lot of support for HBCU football. I know Jackson State, their fans have always really been dedicated and supported them. And it's one of those cities or states where obviously you have Ole Miss and you have Mississippi State, but it's, if you're Jackson State, you Jackson State. And obviously having Coach Prime there, who's done an amazing job in recruiting. And of course, he's increased just the national attention for them. He's done an amazing job, and there are more fans. He's bringing the fans that used to come out back out, and obviously he's got great athletes. But Southern University is another program that has always been extremely supportive, whether they are on the road or are at home. I mean, they've always supported. And then there's other FCS schools, HBCU schools. Alabama State. I mean, we have a beautiful stadium there. I think our fan participation is always, in that top 5 for FCS football. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's to see that screen there with Jackson State having just as many fans as many of these others, and I believe it. I've seen it with my own eyes before when we played Jackson State. But like I said, with Coach Prime and what he's doing, the notoriety, the energy, the enthusiasm, the type of players that he's bringing there has really, really done a lot for Jackson State and a lot for a lot of other HBCU
Do you think
schools. So
you're on the pro side? Do you think the pro scouts and GMs are paying notice too?
I mean, I honestly think just by him being there this year, there was some improvement in the attention given to some of the HBCU athletes. More particularly at Jackson State. I mean, they had the HBCU combine, so the attention that he's brought, and I mean, Deion speaks his mind, right? So he's gonna say what he feels, and I think him coming out and saying many of the things that he said is giving our HBCU guys more opportunities. So we're obviously appreciative of him. We've had some great players that play in, I know, in the SWAC and MEAC and CIAA and SIAC over the years. And now, hopefully, we'll continue to get notoriety for these young men to have an opportunity to play on the next level.
Definitely. No, that's big time, and it's a huge opportunity. Jay, you're from out west, California. I know that you played D1 ball. You think coming out nowadays you would have considered HBCU? You're training kids in Houston, or do you hear these kids talking HBCU?
Oh my God, most definitely. I mean, but we're also right here in Houston, Texas, where we got Prairie View A&M, Texas Southern, you get all these great schools right here, Sam Houston, U of H, all right here in the backyard, Texas A&M. But the HBCUs is the new thing now. For a lot of these kids that I'm training, they're excited about HBCUs to the point where before, the only way that I really knew about HBCUs was because of my background being from Louisiana and knowing the Gremlins, the Southerns, and understanding everything with the marching bands. But now they're talking about the football teams. Now they're talking about the football players, and this is something that's completely different. I really do think that this is great for all of football, that they're finally getting the exposure that they deserve, because
and they're
there's
playing
some dogs.
they're going to be playing Notre Dame's playing Tennessee State,
Exactly.
so it's a new era, new day and age.
Yes,
the
sir.
NIL money's coming in, and it's big time. So we are on to our next topic. If you guys are joining us live, I'm Coach Terrence Wood. We have the absolute pleasure to have our guest host, Coach Janorik James, coming from Houston, Texas, where he's training young people. And then, of course, the great Reggie Barlow. This is somebody that's a Super Bowl champ. This is somebody that has coaching experience and now is going to the XFL, which is leading us to our next topic, Coach. And the XFL is officially back. And, when I was coming out the University of Colorado in 2002, the XFL was around and a lot of ballers in the XFL, and it went away, and now it's coming back. You've decided to become a head coach. Huge opportunity. What made the time now the right time for you, Coach, to leave college and go to the pro ranks?
Well, it's just like taking when we had an opportunity to get the job at Virginia State. I mean, the first thing you do is you look at the leadership, right? At Virginia State, they had Dr. Abdullah, Miss Peggy Davis, two wonderful people. Dr. Abdullah is the president, Miss Davis, the athletic director. So now you look at the XFL, you look at Miss Dana Garcia, and you look at The Rock, and you look at Redbird Capital. Things that they've touched, they've had pretty good success at. So when you got good leaders, good vision, and then the passion of which they speak about for the XFL and what they want it to be about, is definitely something that I want to be a part of. I think you've heard Miss Dana and The Rock mention number 54, right? The Rock was a good football player in college, and for whatever reason, with injuries and stuff, he wasn't 53. He didn't make the 53. It's like the
it worked out. Right? Yeah, it worked out.
Right.
A little bit.
We switch careers with him, right? So, but he wants to give opportunities for these young men, all right, young athletes that still want the opportunity and still can play, to be able to stay in the States, play, earn a living, and then of course allow these guys to transition into their normal life. And so it's not just about football. There's going to be all type of programs that the XFL will present for these guys in terms of networking. So when they do leave the game, they'll have an opportunity to transition and possibly get something else. So we're excited about it. Obviously, great leadership, being there, have an opportunity to go through the process with all the people that are involved. It just made sense, and I'm just really glad that they gave me an opportunity to come and be a part of it.
Yeah, no, that's a big time opportunity. And I mean, kind of on our next topic, the behind the scenes, some of the things that people don't see, with the league coming back. Did you feel like, I mean, obviously you felt like you had the support, but did you always have your eye on pro football coaching back as a head coach, or was it just the right timing?
Yeah, I think I've had some opportunities where there's been some conversation about perhaps being a coach on on a professional level, not as a head coach, but a position coach. And then obviously if it works out to be a head coach, that'd be great. But again, this thing is all about relationships. There's a guy named Scott Pioli, who's a longtime GM. And we talk about relationships. We're talking about meeting people away from football that may be able to mentor you and give you an opportunity, give you some things that may be able to help you. And Scott Pioli is one of those guys that has done a lot for minorities in terms of trying to help them get positions that that we deserve. And he did an article or two talking about minorities that should have an opportunity to be coordinators, be head coaches on a professional level. And look at there, old Barlow was in that article. So from there, the XFL executives, some of them read that, saw that, wanted to vet me, talk to me, and got a chance to sit down with them on many occasions, talk with them about, just talk to them about the entire process of, what I bring to the table as a head coach, and that type of stuff, that I'm ready for a job like that. So yeah, it was behind the scene with my name being mentioned by a really great guy, Scott Pioli, and it kind of went from there. But I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to have to sit down with Mark and some of the Doug and some of the guys that are part of the XFL.
That's huge, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck, and I know you're going to knock it out the park because, like you said, you're surrounded by great people, and you've been around some great coaches in your day that I knew you picked their brain and got a lot of advice from. We are on, Coach, to our very special portion of the show. Now, I know that you were on the OG Locker Room show back when it was just audio. I think it was even before COVID, and now we got you on the YouTube channel. So we got to get a little bit more special for you, Coach, and we are on to our lightning round. Now, the lightning round, you guys, is where it goes down. If you are in the locker room for the very first time, this is our version of word association. We got Jay with us, but we're going to put Coach through the drill because we got to make sure his mind is sharp for the upcoming season. So, Coach, first thing on your mind, this is YouTube, so if I don't think a cuss word is going to slip out, but if it does, are you okay with us? And we just going to name a couple different things, people, situations, and we're going to see what's the first thing on your mind. You got 60 seconds, Coach, and this isn't just a drill. We actually have a reward for whoever gets the most in 60 seconds. So right now, our record is 12 by a former football player named Damon Patterson, who played up in Kansas. So you get a hotel stay, Coach. I know you might be busy during the fall, but a hotel stay and a dinner on us in your hometown or wherever you're at, if you can get over 12. So we're going to get this thing going. Let me get my stopwatch. I know you've been in a few 2-minute drills, Coach. Come on, don't play with me.
Come on, Coach.
Let me get my stopwatch ready. So I'm not cheating them. You guys see that it says 0.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right. Number 1, John Gruden. Start.
One of my favorite coaches, great offensive mind.
2, Alabama State.
Made me who I am today.
Favorite vacation spot or relaxation spot?
Destin, Florida.
Yes, sir.
Best player you've ever played against?
Champ Bailey.
First big NFL purchase?
4Runner, Toyota 4Runner.
Warren Sapp.
Good friend, dominant player, should be in the College Hall of Fame as well as he's already in the Hall of Fame.
The XFL, 40 seconds, Coach.
Great organization, great opportunity for some young men to get an opportunity to sustain and come and play professional football.
Houston Markham.
My mentor. I am who I am because of him.
55 seconds. Charles Woodson.
Great competitor. Could have played.
Time. Coach was rolling. He's picking up at the end. So let me see what we got here, Coach. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got to 9, Coach. And that was good.
I was talking too much. I should have just gave like a simple answer.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
Yeah, people catch on. They just say one thing and they're on to the next. But we definitely appreciate the feedback. You said Destin, Florida. I've never been there. That's probably off the hook.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay. You said the Toyota 4Runner, huh?
It was clean, man. That thing was all black. Had the gold package on the back in the day. I thought I was something yet.
Yeah.
I believe it. And then you said, hey, best player, Champ Bailey?
Yeah, man. He was good. He could run.
One of my favorite corners.
He could cover. I mean, Champ Bailey could have played wide receiver. He was like Woodson. I mean, he was good, man. He was really good.
And you put him above you because you got Dion. You got a few people up in there that were legit.
I mean, obviously Dion, but I was more playing against Dion, you know, a little after his prime, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, Champ Bailey's, man, he's a dog.
Dog. Well, no, we appreciate it, Coach, and we are on to our last topic. Definitely appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man.
No problem.
And this is our audience Q&A. Jay, do you got that queued up for us?
The Q&A?
Yeah. If not, no worries. I got it right here, brother.
I'm in the chat.
Okay. No, we had that one emailed to us. And if you guys are live with us, you got a question for Coach Barlow, please feel free, hit us up in the chat. But we have one queued up for you, Coach, that we had earlier today sent in. And basically it was kind of more so centered around your playing career. And it was, in your mind, what do you think was your best professional season? And was there anything that you did on or off the field that you think kicked that season over compared to the other ones?
Yeah, probably 98. That year we led the NFL in punt return yards. We was second or so in kick return yards, and it was really just a matter of changing diets, really learn how to train. I obviously come from a smaller school, and once I got in the NFL, that was maybe going into my third or fourth year. So I kind of understood about nutrition. I understood what true training was. It's not, and Coach would know this, it's not running a few sprints and then taking 3 minutes off, right? It's, it's timing your rest just as much as you time the sprints and your lifts and all that stuff. So I think once I learned that, start taking care of myself a little bit better. And then, of course, you got to have good teammates, right? I was a punt returner, kick returner. Guys creating positive lanes for us, and we took advantage of it.
Now, that's big time, Coach. And not many young players. We got a lot of young players that tune in, really think about the diet as a competitive advantage. And that's big. Jay, anything for Coach before we get out of here? Just thoughts on your mind, either as a player to get better or even as a coach, some things.
I guess what's something as a coach, what is something that you guys are looking for of these athletes coming to the professional level outside of their physical abilities on the field? What are some things that we should be telling these kids to hone in on?
Yeah, I mean, the people that we come in contact with, obviously, start with the physical skill set. But for us, it's, tell us about a time when you had some adversity, when you was first faced with some adversity, and how did you handle it? Tell us about your family situation. Tell us about where you are in terms of, if this don't work, what do you want to do? All right. But so along with having great skill set, being fit in the pyramid, height, weight, size, strength, and all that stuff, we still want guys that are good people, right? I think it all starts with guys that are good people. You can turn a good person into anything, but a bad person, Jesus Christ, man, you got your work cut out for you. So, but yeah, just that, man, and just come to work, right? I mean, guys that are about grit and understand what works look like, and guys that are not afraid to work. So, those are some of the things that we definitely will be looking for in the guys that we want to be a part of our team, and I'm sure a part of the XFL.
We got a question right here from the chat, Coach, and thank you for your time. Eric Falls out in Alabama, so I know he knows your career. What are 3 things, Coach, you want in your assistant coaches? I don't know if you've already filled out your staff. I don't know how much you're really going to get involved in that, but I'd assume that you're looking for some things. What are maybe 3 things, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously assistant coaches, man. I will be who I am because of our assistant coaches. But one, we want guys that are great communicators, right? Okay. We want guys that understand and can teach the skill set, mindset, or really the mindset, the skill set, and then the scheme. We want those in that order. A lot of us get caught up in our scheme before we concentrate on teaching the guy about mindset and teaching them about skill set, developing a skill set, and then of course our scheme. And then we want guys that are loyal, right? We want guys that, right, when we say this is what we want, that guy's not going to go to the room and say, well, this is what Coach Barlow wants, which means that ain't what I want. So we definitely want guys that are loyal and going to be speaking the same language, the same sheet of music. We develop our own language, and we want our assistant coaches to speak that language, and we're all saying the same thing and being on the same sheet of music. So those are just 3 things, but obviously there's other things that we have on chart that we like our assistant coaches to be about.
That's big time, Coach. And I know. Go ahead, Jay.
You got one more, Coach. Yeah. So being that I just finished playing 2 years ago, so I'm kind of in that same beginning era of when the XFL started coming back, and then these other supplemental leagues like the USFL. What would you say for guys that are coming out of a school like Sacramento State and FCS or an HBCU that may not get the attention that it deserves? If they want to get a shot in these smaller leagues after they're done in college, what's the route that they should go, or where do we go? Because that's something that we didn't know for the first few years.
Yeah, so the only way you can win the fight, you got to get in the fight and stay in the fight. So I know for the XFL, we've had a lot of showcases, still going to be having some more. Now, part of that, right, when they announce the showcases, if you didn't get in early, then, unfortunately, you won't be able to get in because it's all maxed out. But for guys that want to, I mean, I would just stay alert on checking those sites out, whether it's our league, the XFL, any other league, for opportunities where they may be showcases or combines in their area, or sometimes you may have to be extreme and travel somewhere far. So, but just basically trying to get in front of coaches, right? And although we got 8 teams and the NFL got 32 teams, it only takes one. All right, one team, one coach to like you, to bring you on, and then for any guys. I mean, you only get so many times to show your stuff. And when you go to these showcases and if you haven't been training the way that you need to, then you're not going to put yourself in the best situation. Now, I've seen that, right? I've seen that. So you got to be ready when a guy call and say, hey, can you come? And guys don't want to hear, hey, I can lift and I can do this, but I ain't running the 40. Hey, we want to see you do it all, man, because this is a professional league. This is an opportunity to share your stuff. So be ready to show
Coach,
when you get your
Coach, can I give you one more before we let you go? Because you came from a smaller school, just like Jay. You got drafted out of the HBCU. It's hard now, and you came out in the 90s. When did it dawn on you, or did somebody tap you on the shoulder? When did it really click in that you felt like you really had an NFL shot, like you had a shot to make it?
So I know you asked me earlier about who was the best player that I ever played against, and I said Champ Baylor, but the best football player that I've ever seen is a guy named Ricky Jones that played at Alabama State. He was our quarterback. He was an amazing athlete. He was ahead of his time. He did get drafted out of Alabama State, and maybe back then they had maybe 12 rounds or so, but he got drafted as a quarterback, and they wanted to play DB. But anyway, he was a senior, I was a freshman, and it stuck with me. He said, hey, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will have a legit chance to play on the next level. Now, that was something you tell a freshman that kept me motivated the whole time. But my junior year was an opportunity when we went for, I don't know, 1,200 yards or so, 12 touchdowns, 58 catches. And then there was the Senior Bowl, it was the Blue Grade, it was the Combine. And then I'm like, well, man, this might be this might be a little real for us. So, and then we finished our senior year up pretty good. We led the nation in punt return yards, 20 yards a punt return. And, obviously the agents and all those people start calling. So it's like, well, man, we might have.
You must have ran fast too, Coach.
Yeah, we did.
20 yards.
We ran pretty good, 40. And I mean, that was with no training. We trained ourselves because we didn't have right, you go somewhere, you train, and they get you right and all that stuff. It was just, man, get yourself down and run fast, all right? Run fast. So, but we were blessed, man, to have some really good players around us. We had an amazing coach, Coach Markham, that taught grit and work and mindset. And I knew if I had the opportunity to go to NFL, because of what we had gone through and what he had put us through, that we would be able to sustain it. And like you said, getting drafted in the 4th round, ended up playing 8 years for some outstanding teams, man. In Jacksonville,
Hall of
Tom
Famers,
Coughlin. Yeah, I mean, Gruden in Oakland, Gruden in Tampa. Play with a lot of amazing football players. Matter of fact, man, I'm so excited. Our first Jaguar player is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, Tony Baselli. And, I mean, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
He's a first. Hopefully,
really?
Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith gets in there.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, so.
Fred Taylor, yeah.
Fred Taylor, I was about to say, Fred Taylor got to go.
You guys were
so
close.
Good. He's so
was
good.
it the Broncos? You guys were close with Jacksonville too, right?
Who was?
Did you play in the division title game?
Yeah, we actually, man, my rookie year, we barely made the playoffs. We got in on the last game of the season on a missed field goal. We get in the playoff. We go on the road to play either Denver or Buffalo. Either way it went, we beat both of them. All right. Yeah. Jim Kelly, John Elway, we knocked both of those teams out. And then we go to New England, and the power goes out in the cold. So I don't know what happened with that, but it kind of froze us out.
So some weird stuff goes on in New England.
Yeah, so we came up short. We came up short that game, but we ended up playing in maybe 2 more AFC Championship games. We played against the Titans. So man, I was blessed. We 2 AFC Championship games, then an NFC Championship game with Tampa, and then the Super Bowl. So just great. Glad we had a chance to play in front of some great people, with some great people as well.
And an XFL championship coming to a field near you guys. So,
I mean,
hey,
why not,
Coach,
right? Why not?
Why not? If anybody else, why not you? So, Coach, you killed it tonight. Thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate you, and much blessings moving forward.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on here. We'll continue to check you guys out as we go here, and anytime, man. I just appreciate the opportunity.
All right, you guys. So, hey, there you guys have it. That is the great Coach Barlow giving us his time, and his time is very valuable, y'all. For you players, I know you got a lot out of tonight's show, and also for you coaches and you family members. So, thank you, Coach, and we'll see you at the top. Have a good one. All right, you guys. So, we had Coach. I know you guys got a lot out of that. Jay, what was your thoughts having coaching in the locker room?
Man, that's amazing to have somebody like Coach come on and be able to give any type of insight, any type of knowledge towards the life that all of these athletes athletes that are watching, the life that they want to live. They want to live the life of a Super Bowl champion. They want to live the life of a Division I football player, NFL draftee, So when you can get the perspective coming from somebody who's done it and is still sustaining at the highest level, it's always a blessing to be able to hear from them. So.
And it's good to see, a person of color, man. I mean, I know it's not the NFL, but it's big time pro football. He's getting his opportunity. What's cool, you guys, is some people, almost every meal or every check they cash in their life is due to what they did in football. They pay for their education. I see Eric Foss here saying thanks, no doubt. We want to provide the great content, but he's paid for his education. I'm sure he's probably paid for his kids' schooling and different things like that with the NFL checks. He coached in college. So, you never have to leave football. Technically, you're doing amazing things with the training in Houston. And, let's while we're here, man, give it the shout out. So give us a little bit about Slick Fit, man. Tell us something.
So Slick Fitness and Athletics. So we're offering personal training, sports performance coaching, nutritional guidance. So we have online training so we can reach anybody, anywhere, anytime. Doesn't matter where you're at. But now if you need in-person training, we're trying to grow and expand. We're looking for more athletes that are wanting to stay within their sport, not just football, basketball, track, baseball, softball, volleyball, cricket, you name it. If you can do it and you can teach it, let's have a conversation and let's start helping some people out and getting some higher level, affordable training.
That's big time, man. And what's the best way for them to reach out to you, Jay, if they want to train or if they want to coach?
So if you want to train or to coach, either one, follow us on Instagram at Slick Fit Athletics and go ahead and shoot us a DM. Shoot us a DM. Let us know what you're interested in, whether you need personal training, sports performance coaching, online training. You just want a little bit of nutritional guidance, little tips here and there about how to live healthier and prevent diseases and things like that. Let's do it. We're here for you.
Putting it in the chat, you guys, right there at Slick Fit Athletics, training and coaching. This is our very own. That's why we're putting him on, because the Locker Room Show is created and powered by Before You Go Pro. He's a Before You Go Pro athlete. You see how we recycle the love, and he's doing big things out in Texas. So if you need some training, he's got trainers all over the country. You need some training, get with Coach Jay. You want to coach? Get with Coach Jay. All right. So hopefully you guys see, we're not even just giving you content. We're trying to get you paid. We're trying to get you a job.
Yes, sir.
So no, man, keep up the great work. And you know I love you to death, man.
Yes, sir.
Proud of you. And
Love you, Coach.
I know that you are playing this thing like a fiddle, man. So keep working hard, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. Appreciate everything that you've done for me. Happy late Father's Day. Thank you for having me on the show.
No doubt. And for those that haven't already, please hit the like button. Subscribe also to our channel so you can get updated whenever we release a new Locker Room Show. Some of you guys are waiting on Q, the guru, and he'll be back next week. But hit the like button, hit the Locker Room Show. Tell everybody you know, tell your friends, tell the players, the coaches, the parents in particular, because we are giving you guys the game, the content you need to take it to the next level. So we are officially out. Coach Jay, appreciate you, brother. I'll see you at the top.
See you at the top, Coach.